as Ron Wyden says, there is no magical growth fairy. Here is Ron Wyden talking about the tax cuts that are coming down the pike. I don't know if the budget has been ratified or has been voted upon, but this is just setting up tax cuts. Here's Ron Wyden.
Driven by partisanship and reconciliation, which is why I want to strike those instructions. What's actually on paper, not what's said in the speeches or in sound bites and the like, what's on paper is the Republican plan doesn't close the most egregious, enshrines them as permanent features in our tax law. That's contrary to what the president said he wanted to do, and it certainly isn't a tax recipe focused on the middle class. Now, one of the individuals that has been most out in front of the cameras selling the Trump tax plan to the public is the Treasury Secretary.
Okay.
Now, a few weeks ago, the Secretary doubled down on the failed experiment that tax cuts pay for themselves. Now, forget the history that shows that isn't true. The Secretary Mnuchin said that the Trump tax cuts won't just pay for themselves, they'll raise an additional $1 trillion in revenue on top of their own costs. The fact is, Mr. President, there is no magical growth fairy, no unicorns, no kind of growth fairies that are going to somehow spring to life if this tax cut plan becomes law.
I mean, I still am bewildered by, Wyden's right, but I am bewildered by the failure of Democrats not to say the words, "Look at Kansas." We have seen this play out. This experiment has played out. Arthur Laffer, one of the architects of this theory that the more you cut taxes at a certain point, the more returns you get because it creates such growth. This whole dynamic scoring theory, the whole supply side economics theory was basically full on. Kansas became ground zero for this experiment under Sam Brownback. And in 2012. And by last year, the Republican-controlled State House rolled back all of it because it was such a massive disaster for the state of Kansas. Sam Brownback was literally made ambassador to the ether so they could get him out of there so he wouldn't be a political lightning rod for this tax battle. He is now, I kid you not, the ambassador to religion.
Yep.
I don't know where he's stationed.
It's a big league
I don't know,
portfolio.
put him up in space.
He's in the religion.
But this was such a disaster.
There.
It did not create jobs. Every state around the state of Kansas destroyed Kansas in terms of job growth. It did not expand the economy. It caused, and revenue decreased by as much as they cut taxes. That's weird, but it's true. And they had to destroy their educational system in Kansas. I mean, it has been a disaster, an unmitigated disaster.
Wow.
And it's literally like, I don't know, that Marshall McLuhan moment in that Woody Allen movie where they're arguing about what Marshall McLuhan says, and Woody Allen says, "I have Marshall McLuhan right here," and just pulls him out of anywhere. I mean, like, every time the Republicans talk about cutting taxes, driving, more revenue, they should just literally pull it out. Well, actually, I have Kansas right here. I have your entire experiment right here. And it is an abject failure.
A lot of people say that Sam Brownback looks like a dim-witted Undertaker, but at least he doesn't sound like Donald Duck, Ron. Donald Duck guy. That's my nickname.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos